Okay, end of week 10. So it's Sunday, and I weighed in at 231 pounds. I was 232.4 pounds last week, so I'm down 1.4 pounds, which is great. Especially because last week, I actually ended up getting sick on the weekend when I made the video. For those of you who watch, I wasn't feeling that well. I thought it was allergies. Turns out I came down with something else, and I just wasn't feeling well. I couldn't go back to work till Wednesday, and I felt real awful. So I stuck to my diet, and I did everything that I could when I felt bad. And even Wednesday, after I went back to work, my workouts were still suffering. I wasn't really training 100% optimal, and I was just exhausted and fatigued. So that led me to change up a couple things on my workout, which I talked about in yesterday's video. If y'all want to see and hear about that, y'all can go back to that. As far as it goes for dieting, um, it's pretty much stayed the same. So I'm doing a cup of egg whites for breakfast with half a cup of oatmeal, and then from there I do three meals, one at 9, noon, and 3 p.m. And those are it's 2 pounds of red meat divided by those three meals, and then chicken stock. I'm sorry, beef stock, and 8 ounces of rice per meal. And then my pre-workout, my post-workout meal is a bunch of fruit. So I do the orange, a banana, strawberries, blueberries, and then I do two things of Greek yogurt. But now what I'm doing is I'm adding in one scoop of whey protein to the yogurt and mixing that up so I can get a little extra protein from that. And my dinner is still a pound of chicken with vegetables is what I'm doing. And it's allowing me to get to where I am without feeling like I'm losing muscle mass and I'm just losing fat. My cardio is about an hour a day. I do two 20-minute sessions on the Stairmaster, one in the morning, one in the evening, and then I do two 10-minute walks during the day, giving me a total of an hour. I'm trying to break it up and not be so intense because I find out that if I do cardio for like an hour straight, not only is it incredibly mind-numbingly dull, uh, I I waste away a lot of muscle mass. Like I tried the fasted cardio, I've tried the steady state cardio, the high intense cardio. I've tried so many different variations, and I found out that if I eat and then do cardio, not do cardio then eat, but eat my food and then do cardio, I actually don't get stomach aches, I don't get indigestion, and then it seems like my body uses that extra energy for fuel for my cardio session. I feel better whenever I do cardio after a meal. I feel more energetic and I feel like I can put more into my cardio. And then your body's not going to metabolize food so fast that it's like, oh, well, if you eat and then work out, your body's going to burn that food instead of fat. It cannot metabolize it that quickly, but it does get into your bloodstream and your system, and it does actually raise your caloric intake, but not to a point where you can't burn fat. Because if you're not eating enough calories to put on fat and you're eating in a big enough deficit to burn fat, it doesn't matter how much, it doesn't matter when you eat really. Your meal timing isn't so much important for your cardio, but I feel like I get more out of my cardio by eating before I do cardio. It just makes me feel better. And that's what I'm doing for my diet and my cardio right now. And like I said, my training's still 6 days a week. I just dropped a superset. I won't really get into that because we talked about that already. So I'm happy with my results so far. It feels like it's been a long road, but it really hasn't. It's only been 10 weeks, really. I mean, May 8th was the actual day that I started training and dieting. I didn't get serious about it until I started posting these videos, which was 10 weeks ago. So to go from 261.2 pounds down to 231 pounds and being 30 pounds down, that's a huge accomplishment in 10 weeks. And sometimes I lose sight of that, and it's hard for me to remember like where I started and to be like, oh well, look at how far you've come in the last 10 weeks. This is huge progress, but I don't look at where I started. I look at where I want to be, and I'm like, man, I'm getting closer, but I'm still not there. I'm getting closer. I'm still not there. Man, if I just can get one more minute of cardio, or maybe if I just did one more rep or one more set, or maybe if I could just sleep 30 minutes longer, or that's where my mind goes. But then I have to pump the brakes and be like, no, 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 you need to lose it slowly over time. Take a deep breath. As long as it's coming down every single week, you're doing good. So I'm on track to get my weight down by the end of the year where I want to be so I could be lean enough with sparing as much muscle. Reality is, I like it to be around September, October, where I can stop doing this cut and I can start working back on gaining weight and not fat, but actually reduce the cardio, increase the protein and the calories, and start trying to put on muscle mass. Because like I said, I'm 6 foot tall, and being 231 pounds at 6 foot is not a bad deal. But once I start getting down lower to maybe when my abs start coming through and I start getting lean enough, I'm gonna start looking skinny, and I don't want to look skinny, especially in clothing. Right now, I feel like I just look like a normal person in my clothing. I feel like I just look like a skinny guy, and I don't want to be a skinny guy. Like, I want to look muscular. I want to look fit. I want to look the part of someone who works out, and like not have to question like, oh man, like, oh you work out. Oh, I couldn't tell. Or, oh well, you look like you take care of yourself. No, I want to walk up and people be questioning and whispering, man, is that guy on steroids? How much steroids do you think that guy's doing? That's what I want people to think when they see me, right? I want to be that big mass monster, but I know it's one thing at a time. 36, that may not be in the realm of possibility at this point in time in life, but I can't help but dream, right? So, but anyways, that's it for the video, guys. That's my updates. That's what I have going on. I appreciate you watching. Until next week. Well, actually, next week I may not be putting up a video on Sunday. It might be Monday. So, but all right, guys. Thanks for watching.